Hi guys, and welcome to this Pick a Card Tarot reading, where we're going to be looking at what your life may look like after this isolation and quarantine period is over, like what changes may take place during that period, and then what your life may look like afterwards. I want to give a quick disclaimer before getting into the video. I've been getting a lot of requests to film a video like this, and at first I was not going to do it because it makes me kind of uncomfortable, the idea of this reading. I in no way want to seem like I'm not taking this situation seriously. It makes me kind of uncomfortable to think about profiting off of something bad happening. Like, what's happening is honestly crazy. I'm pretty young, but I've never seen anything like this happen. I can't remember anything like this in recent history. It feels very unprecedented. And it all happened so quickly. And I know that the last few weeks have brought a lot of despair, a lot of change, a lot of anxiety for a lot of people. And I in no way want to seem like I'm coming in and being like, let me get some views off of this. That's not at all where I'm coming from. So at first, I was not going to film this. But my own life has changed really drastically, really quickly due to the virus. And a lot of things that I had kind of taken for granted or that I assumed I was going to be able to do are now kind of up in the air. And there's a lot of uncertainty in my own life. And so I've been doing readings like this a lot for myself. And I've actually found it really comforting. It's really helped me, during this time. Because like I said, I have been experiencing a lot of anxiety myself. And I was going to film a different reading today. I was going to film a no contact video. But I felt really called to do this reading. So I feel like there is a message here for someone. So I hope you can kind of see where I'm coming from. I'm not taking this lightly. I know this is a period that is, for some people, there's not a lot of change. For other people, there is a lot going on, and I'm not at all trying to make light of that or just make it seem like it's, just a trendy reading topic. That's not at all where I'm coming from. I feel like there really is a message here that could help someone, and I wouldn't do this reading if I didn't think that. My second disclaimer is that I in no way want this to be a disempowering video, where it seems like I'm saying, this is exactly what's going to happen to you after the quarantine, and, there's nothing you can do about it. Because I always think that we have free will. And I very much view tarot as an energy reading. And so as the energy stands right now, this is how things could turn out for you. But you can do things that will change that energy as well. You have the ability to change that energy yourself. And also, this is a very rapidly changing situation. So the energy in the situation will kind of move and evolve. Perhaps you can come back if things change a lot. You could pick a different pile, but I did want to say energy does change a lot. I also personally view tarot as kind of like a weather forecast, where it's most of the time the meteorologist is right, but it kind of gives you a heads up of if something bad is coming. If you're oh, it's gonna storm on Friday, that sucks, but then you can kind of, you can get your umbrella, you can get your raincoat, and then you're not caught in a storm with no protection. So that's kind of how I personally view it. It's kind of a way to be okay, this is maybe kind of a forecast of what might be coming, and here's some ways I can kind of prepare for that. Or if I don't want that to come, here's some ways I can kind of change that energy to shift. So I want this to be more of an empowering situation rather than this is what's going to happen to you and there's something you can do about it, because I very much always think that we have free will, we can shift that energy. That is not my view on tarot. So yeah, that's my second disclaimer. Okay, so all of that being said, we have 4 piles to choose from. Pile 1 is a clear quartz crystal with the Kitty Kahane tarot. Pile 2 is an aventurine stone with the sakki tarot. Pile 3 is a citrine stone with the centennial Rider-Waite, and pile 4 is a black tourmaline stone with my trusty apparition tarot. So take a moment to kind of reflect, let a pile call to you. If you need some time, you can pause the video. Sometimes I like to pause the video, do something else for a little bit, and then come back and see initially what my eye is drawn to. But whatever works for you, I will leave the timestamp in the description, so you can go ahead and jump to the pile that's calling for you, and I will see you at the timestamp. Hi guys, if you chose pile 1 or the clear quartz crystal with the Kitty Kahane tarot, then welcome. This reading is for you. Let's take a look at what is coming for you after this quarantine isolation period. We invite any ancestors, any spirit guides, any positive energies that want to communicate with us about everyone that chose pile 1. The clear quartz crystal with the Kitty Kahane tarot to please communicate in the most effective and concise way possible so that we can get the most accurate and helpful reading for everyone that chose pile 1 that we can. Again, asking what will their life look like once this isolation period is over, what is coming for them, what changes might they experience during the quarantine, and what will their life look like afterwards. What is coming for everyone that chose pile 1? We have the Ace of Pentacles along with the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Life after isolation period for pile 1. Wow, we have the Sun. Life after isolation period for pile 1. And we have the Hierophant in reverse. And the bottom of this deck is the Magician. Okay. This is really positive. Let me move this card so it's not like that. This is really positive. You have the Ace of Pentacles, the Sun, and the Magician. 3 of my favorite cards, or 3 of the most positive cards in the deck. There's like a new opportunity here with the Ace of Pentacles and the Sun. There's like, it feels like you blossoming in some way with the Sun. With the Magician, if you guys are trying to manifest something, like this is coming to you, and it could come quite quickly with the Sun. If you've been like hoping for something, if there's like this, it feels almost like a change that you've been hoping for, like something new, a new opportunity, like a job opportunity, or a move for some of you, like this is going to come after the quarantine. I'm going to clarify some of this energy. This first deck I used was the Kitty Kahane Tarot. The second deck I'm going to be using is the Autonomic Tarot to clarify. I'm going to try to remember to start saying the names of the decks that I'm using. So why is the Ace of Pentacles in this reading for pile 1? What does that help us understand about what changes pile 1 might experience during isolation and what their life might look like afterwards? We have the Fool. Yeah, a new beginning for sure. Why is the 8 of Pentacles in reverse in this reading? We have the 10 of Swords, or completion. Why is the Sun card in this deck? Or in this deck. Why is it in this deck? Why is it in this reading? We have the Lovers. And why is the Hierophant in reverse? We have the Emperor. Okay. So we do have the Hanged Man at the bottom of the deck. So I feel like there is, again, there's very much a sense of like something new with like the 10 of Swords, that this is the 10 of Swords completion in this deck. It's like something, one cycle is ending and a new cycle is beginning, and this new cycle feels extremely positive. However, it might be a little bit delayed with this Hanged Man. I think this is telling you, like, don't give up hope. You, like, whatever you're hoping for is within reach. This is an incredibly positive file. Whatever it is that, like, you're hoping for is going to come to you, but with this Hanged Man, it's like, if it does take a while to come, you know, don't give up hope because it's coming. Also, I feel like if something does end with this 10 of Swords, it's going to bring something much more positive with it. It's going to bring, like, a new, really positive, like, beginning with it. That was, I shouldn't have had to repeat myself to say that, but if something does end and it seems like, wow, I can't believe that happened, like, that was so annoying, it's like, it's going to bring something new with it. If you're not manifesting, I would definitely recommend that you start manifesting with the Magician, the Ace of Pentacles, the Fool, the Sun. Like, I would definitely get on them. This would be a great thing to use your isolation time to do would be to try and manifest, because it very much feels like something that you've been hoping for a long time is going to come forth. I also see you really blossoming with the Sun. Like, see how that's like a butterfly? Like, it feels like you really coming into your own. I also feel like with the Fool and the Sun here, I think this is a time for you to kind of deepen your spiritual practice, if that's something that you're not, like, if you're not that into, like, for example, manifestation. Now is the time for you to kind of like blossom in that way, because I feel like you guys have a lot of manifestation abilities in you. Like, you can make whatever you want to happen right now with the Sun, the Magician. Like, are you kidding? So this is a time for you to kind of blossom and kind of tap into that, if that's something that you're not doing already. I do feel like with the Eight of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords, it's like something that you have been working on might not come to fruition, or it might end like not in the way that you expected, but it's going to bring like something new that is better is going to come in. It's like if you've been working like on a project, or you've been working on something, you've been putting a lot of effort into it, it might end, but it's like you're going to then use that time that you gain from losing that thing to focus on this other new opportunity. I feel like you guys are going to be fine financially. With the Ace of Pentacles, that's a really great omen. Same with the Sun. Like, there's nothing really here to worry about. I do feel like with the Fool and the Ace of Pentacles, this new opportunity might seem kind of risky. It might seem like, I'm not sure if that's like the best idea, but I think it's going to be really financially successful with the Sun and the Magician. With the Hierophant reverse as well as the Emperor, I do think that you're kind of being asked, again, I feel like this new opportunity, it might seem kind of foolish, or it might seem kind of like risky, and so you're kind of being asked to give up some control issues. Again, I feel like you've been devoting a lot of time onto something, like with this Eight of Pentacles reversed, like you've been like planning on that thing being like the thing for you, and this is saying like maybe not, like maybe what it's actually going to bring you success is going to be in a different avenue. So try and give up expectations and try and go with the flow a little bit. Again, it very much feels like your wildest dreams coming true. So it's like, if like anything that you think is too crazy, it's not crazy enough. You know what I mean? Like, you can make anything happen with this energy. So it's like kind of release your expectation, like release any notions of like what is too much, what is impossible, because you can make the impossible possible here. Like, this is really, really positive energy, but you are going to have to kind of decide to reach out and take it. It's like with the Ace of Pentacles and the Lovers, like the universe can give you all the positive energy that it can, like on a silver platter, but if you don't reach out and take that positive energy, nothing is going to happen. So there is like some work here that's required on your part. You do have to, you can't just like sit back and like be like, okay, that's it, this new opportunity. Like, you are going to have to kind of like do some work here, but I think it's going to be something that you're really excited about, like something that is, something that you enjoy. So it's not going to be like a burden in any way. So it is, like a message that is coming through is like, don't be afraid to reach out and take an opportunity that comes to you, and also release any expectations of like what you should do, what is normal, what is conventional, like what is too much, because this is saying that's not enough. Like, you can make anything that you want to happen, so you can like really blossom into your wildest dreams. And I'm also seeing here that the Sun is like, it seems like it's watering this butterfly. So I kind of feel like, again, you might go through something kind of difficult. Like with this Ten of Swords, it seems like something's raining on this butterfly. But there's overwhelming positive energy here. So if there is something that ends, if there is like this feels like it would be quite brief, this like difficult time period, like something really positive is going to come out of it. Again, there might be some delays on seeing the results of that, but there's going to be a lot of really positive energy here. So let's pull some oracle cards for you. This is the Vessel Oracle by Spirit Speak Tarot. What is coming for pile 1 after this isolation and quarantine period is over? Wow, yeah. Oh my god, we have begin and we have birth. definitely a new beginning here, definitely something new. So again, if like, for example, if you lost your job during this time period, I definitely see something new coming in. I think this new thing is going to be really lucrative. We also have rest. So again, there might be a slight delay with the Hanged Man and the rest. If there is, it's like, don't fret, don't worry, like this thing is coming in. With this pile, there's a strong manifestation energy, so keeping that positive energy, keeping that positive mindset is going to be really helpful in bringing this new opportunity to you that much more quickly. And we have the love card. So you guys have the Lovers and the Love card. So there could be, you know, like new love coming into this. Could be a new love opportunity for some of you. For some of you, I think it's financial. For others of you, it could be a new love opportunity. I'm going to pull some cards from the Romance Angels Oracle deck now to look specifically at what's coming in love for you guys. What is coming for pile 1 after the quarantine? Also, I apologize if you can hear anyone in the background. It's my family. I think I've said this in every video now that I've uploaded. But we're all quarantined together, so we're all like stuck at home. And obviously we can't go anywhere. And there's like kind of a lot of us, so we're all just here. And it takes me a long time to film, so sometimes they talk. I feel like my brothers, I feel like it's popping off down there though. I'm intrigued to know what's going on. Okay, we have keep an open mind. Your soulmate might be different than the type of person you expect to meet. We have codependency. Dependency is affecting your love life. And let's get one more card. What is coming for pile 1 after this isolation and quarantine period? We have let go of your ex. The time has come to purify your energy. So again, if something ends during this time period, don't be afraid to let it go. Like, it was meant to go. You're meant to transform into something new. If a romantic situation is ending, it was codependent, like it was not what was good for you, something new is coming. Like, keep an open mind. Like, something, like there is something new coming for you guys. And again, it might seem foolish. It might seem, you know, risky. It might just be different than what you expect. But I think it's going to bring you a lot of success. It's going to bring you a lot of happiness. Again, like if like a relationship ends, it was meant to end. If a job ends, it was meant to end. Like you guys are meant to have this new thing coming in. This feels very like, it feels like a breath of fresh air, whatever this new thing is, this metamorphosis that you're going to go through. I'm going to pull some cards now from the Psychic Tarot. What is coming for pile 1 after this isolation and quarantine period? Wow, you guys. Okay, you have awareness. You have choose wisely. And you also have the harmony card. This is the Lovers card in the traditional tarot. So you have the Lovers twice. So there is like very much the aspect of someone new coming, or like, you know, new love coming in, but there also is this element of a decision, because the Lovers often represents making a choice. And you also have the choose wisely card, so you might have a choice coming through. Again, if there's a choice that seems like it's something that you've always wanted to do, but it seems kind of risky, I would say it's going to pay off. With the awareness card too, I really feel like this time is meant for you to kind of, again, tap into your spiritual gifts. Again, I feel like you guys are very spiritual people, whether you realize it or not, whether it's something that you're interested in really or not. You guys have a lot of spiritual gifts. You really have the ability to make your dreams come true, and this is a time for you to really tap into that and make it happen. Again, it's like nothing is too crazy. You could make whatever you want to happen. So just kind of tap into that, and also try and stay on that positive mindset. Again, I feel like I'm not trying to say like if you lose your job, it's like love and light, everything's going to be fine. Like obviously, like there's going to be some grief involved, there's going to be some difficulty, but trying to stay on the open mind of like, okay, I lost my job and that sucks, but I'm open to new opportunities, new things are coming my way. You know, like the universe wants to support me in that way. It's more of like being on that positive mindset, being like, okay, that ended, but that means that something better is coming in. I'm going to pull one final card for you guys. This is the Flowers of the Night Oracle deck. I'm just going to pull this as like some final advice or guidance for you guys. final advice or insight for pile 1. Okay, we have the affinity card, which is the night phlox, as well as the communication card, fish bone cactus. So I'm going to read you these messages from the book because I like the way this book describes things. The affinity card says, knowing what truly aligns with you is vital at present. A softening of aggression and calming of emotions is indicated by night phlox. Tensions will ease and peace should prevail, but be prepared to do the work to make this happen. Someone is near who offers companionship, a relationship, or even an opportunity that is deeper on all levels. Be prepared to give a lot more than you might be ready for if you wish to pursue this relationship. You should find yourself surrounded by like-minded people and in situations you truly enjoy and thrive in. Don't let invitations pass you by. Challenges include tension, infatuation, and dangerous temptations. Jealousy is also strongly indicated by this flower, so be very careful when it comes to self-doubt. Affirmation, I am one with what it is I desire. Again, there's a lot here about like getting what you want, getting like being one with what you desire. I was also drawn to be prepared to do the work. Again, there is an element of like you are going to have to do some work here, but you're going to be very rewarded for that work that you put in. And also it does feel like there is like a companion coming in. If you are with someone already, that's going, to continue to be fine. If you're single, you could have someone new coming in. And again, don't let invitations pass you by. With that Ace of Pentacles. And communication says, time for discussions, speaking up, and ensuring that you are really heard. What needs to be said or communicated more clearly? Is your truth, your message, your meaning being fully understood? Take extra notice of what is being shown and shared with you, as you could easily miss some very important points. This is a chance to share your passion through creative expression and to gain more interest in what it is you do. This energy extends the opportunities to change jobs, gain promotions, sell creative works, and obtain positions to share your work more widely. Truth is being heard at the moment, and you may need to forget the past and trust in the future so you can enjoy today more fully. Be very careful of gossip, being misrepresented, or doing things which may not align with your truth. Affirmation, I speak with truth and clarity. So again, for some of you, I do see like a job change here, but it very much feels like whatever was, whatever ends like wasn't working for you. So you're bringing in something new, something positive, and something that is going to kind of fulfill you on a financial but also a spiritual, creative level. So that's what I'm seeing for those of you that chose pile 1. I hope that was interesting or provided clarity or insight. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Hi guys, if you chose pile 2 or the aventurine stone with the Sakki tarot, then welcome. This reading is for you. Let's take a look at what might be coming for you during and after this isolation period. We invite any ancestors, any spirit guides, any positive energies that want to communicate with us about everyone that chose pile 2 to please do so in the most effective and concise way possible so that we can get the most accurate and helpful reading for everyone that chose pile 2 that we can. And again, we're asking what their life might look like after this isolation quarantine period, what changes might happen during this time, and what their life might look like after. Okay, we have the Strength card. We have the Knight of Swords. Let me put these up. Here is the Strength card. Here is the Knight of Swords. Pile 2. Changes during quarantine and life afterwards. And we have the King of Pentacles along with the Four of Pentacles. And the bottom of the deck is the Temperance card. Okay. So with the Strength card, the Knight of Swords, the Four of Pentacles, I do feel like there is this energy of like feeling like you have to hold on really tightly, feeling like you are like almost rushing into battle. But I think this Temperance card is telling you that everything is going to be okay. It's like you have to have a balance. You can't always be like strong and like warrior like. It's okay to like kind of like let your guard down a little bit as well. With the King of Pentacles and Temperance, like, you're going to be fine financially. Everything is going to work out. There's not, there's no need to stress. It's like, yes, you're a strong person. Yes, you have this like inner passion, this inner like fight and inner drive, which is wonderful. But you don't have to be strong all the time either. And with this Four of Coins, it's like, be wary of being a little bit too, like, holding on a little bit too tightly to things. It's like, it's okay for things to go sometimes. It's okay for things to end. Let's clarify these. I'm going to be using the Autonomic Tarot to clarify. So why is the Strength card in this reading? We have the Fortune card or the Wheel of Fortune. Why is the Knight of Swords in this reading? We have the Ace of Pentacles. Why is the King of Pentacles in this reading? We have the Ten of Swords, or Ace of Swords, excuse me. And why is the Four of Pentacles in this reading? We have the Sun. So again, what's really coming through is that everything is going to be okay. That you guys feel kind of on edge a little bit. This is telling you it's like, at the end of the day, everything is going to be fine. You have the Fortune card, you have the Sun card, you have the Temperance card. It's like the universe is really watching out for you. With the Fortune card and the Ace of Swords, which says endings in this deck, you are going through a cycle change. So you have two aces. So I do see something new coming your way, but also with that Ace of Swords, it says the ending. So I love that card because it reminds you that a lot of times, like, something new brings about the end of something else, and the end of something can often bring about the start of something else, which is very much in that Wheel of Fortune energy. So I do see like things changing for you, which makes sense. There's a lot of change going on. But I feel like you are kind of resistant to that change. It feels like, again, you're kind of on edge. You're like, no, like, everything's going to be the same. I'm going to hold on to, like, my life. And this is telling you, it's like, if things change, it's for the better with that Wheel of Fortune energy. It's like things might be a bit unexpected. That's kind of to be expected during this time period. But just because things change, just because they're different than what you expected, doesn't mean that you're not going to be okay. Like, the main message here is that everything is going to be fine. With the Sun, the Temperance, the King of Pentacles, like, financially, you're fine. Job-wise, you're fine. Again, things might change, things might move around, things might shift, but just because something is ending doesn't mean that everything is ending. Doesn't mean that something new isn't coming in. It doesn't mean that that new thing isn't better than what you had before. You guys also have the Magician at the bottom of this deck, which again is reminding you to that kind of, like, our thoughts really do co-create our reality. And even if you're not very spiritual, even if you think that sounds kind of stupid, it does make sense, because when you think something or you think a certain way, you're going to act in ways that make that come true. For example, if you think that you are just not smart enough to get into Harvard, you are not going to apply to Harvard, and then you're not going to get in because you didn't apply. It's that kind of energy. So it's like, and also like in a law of attraction way, when you are really scared of something, or you try to avoid something happening, a lot of times that can actually pull that towards you, because you're like, I don't want it, but you think about it so much that it does come to you. So this is reminding you, it's like your thoughts do co-create your reality, so be careful about how you're thinking about things, what you're thinking about. Like, you guys are strong people, you're like there's a very like strong but almost kind of like defensive energy here, and it's like you don't have to be defensive all the time. It's like you don't have to be afraid of the changes that are coming, because they're coming for the better. Like, I feel like, again, with the Wheel of Fortune, these two aces, the sun, I do think that you're going to experience a lot of change during this time period, but I think that that is really for the best. Like, it's bringing you in a place that you were meant to be, you know? It's like, this very much feels kind of like you wouldn't have made these changes if it weren't for this situation. And the universe is like, you need to be in this place, not the old place. Like, you need to kind of move ahead, move forward. And we couldn't have brought you in that place without all of these massive changes, because you were holding on to the past so tightly, if that makes sense. And it's like with the Magician, I do think that these changes are bringing you towards where you want to be in life. Like, they're bringing you towards a place that is closer to what you've been hoping for. But again, it's like you have been kind of resistant to change in certain areas, but it's like you kind of have to go through change in those areas to get to overall where you want to be. There is really strong Leo energy here with the Strength and the Sun. There's really strong Earth energy as well, but there is very strong Leo. There's a very like fixed, stubborn energy, and I think the universe is like, just go with the flow. It's going to be easier if you go with the flow. And again, I think that these changes that are coming in your life are coming for the better. They're coming to, you know, bring you to the place that you want to be in. And with the Temperance, the Fortune, the Sun, it's like the universe really is on your side. And believing that is going to kind of help. It's like going to put you in that more positive mindset that will help attract these blessings to you even faster. So I'm going to use the Vessel Oracle now and pull a few more cards and see what is coming for everyone that chose pile 2. Okay, we have the Release card, the Anxiety card, but it came out in reverse. We have the Boundaries card, and we also have the Fear card. So again, I feel like it feels almost kind of like a purging period for you, or it's like a cleansing period, again, bringing you closer to where you ultimately want to be. I feel like you're really afraid of change, you're really afraid of something ending, but again, it's like that is bringing you closer to something where you want to be. Like, it's bringing you closer to where the universe knows that you are going to be happiest and where you kind of like should be overall. With these Boundaries card, it's like if something ends, again, it's like because it's just not meant to be. You know, if something ends during this period, it's like just let it be, go with the flow, and find a new direction. Because again, I do feel like cycles are closing out here, and a new cycle is beginning. It feels extremely positive, but again, you're kind of like holding on to this old stuff. But it's like once you see this new stuff that comes in, it's going to be so positive. So if, you know, endings are coming, it's like don't fear them. Don't see it as an ending. See it as like the end of this cycle, but the start of something new. With this Anxiety card too in reverse, again, there is this like a lot of anxiety here. And with this card, it's like these people are chained by anxiety, but there's also the key is there, you know? It's like the ability to get out of this is within you. And again, I'm not trying in any way to like diminish fear and anxiety. Like, this is a really stressful time. There's a lot of uncertainty. So, of course, it makes sense if, you're scared to lose your job. Like, that makes a lot of sense. But all I'm trying to say here is that I really feel like these endings are bringing you to a more positive place. And when you resist it, it just makes it kind of that much harder. So kind of going with the flow, being like, okay, that's ended. But what new thing can I bring in? What new thing have I been hoping for? What new opportunity is being presented to me? Again, like, it feels very like there's nothing here that to me, and I would not at all, like, I would not sugarcoat this. There's nothing here that suggests like financial disarray. So if you are worried about losing a job or something like that, the financial side will not be an issue, and again, it's bringing you towards a more positive place. I'm going to pull some cards from the Psychic Tarot. Actually, let's start with Let's just start with the Psychic Tarot. What is coming for everyone that chose pile 2? We have trapped in fear, which I believe is the 8 of Swords. We have the Fertility card, the Empress. And we have Memories of Love, or the 6 of Cups. So with this trapped in fear, fertility, this Memories of Love, again, I feel like you guys are really anxious about the situation, which makes so much sense. But because you're so anxious and you're like so, it feels like you're just really afraid of change. But because you're afraid of change, it's like you're not seeing moves that you could make that would actually be better. You know, it's like you're trapping yourself in, you're kind of boxing yourself in. And that is going to hurt you more overall because you're not seeing these other opportunities. You're not seeing this potential for expansion. It's like you have the ability to do more, to be more right now. And if you stay trapped where you are, it's like you're not going to be able to get those opportunities for expansion. With the Fertility card, this is actually a really fertile time. Like with the Magician, the Empress, it's like there's a lot of potential here. Again, the universe is really trying to bring you in a new direction. And again, it's like if something ends, you have an ace, you have the Fertility. It's like it's really bringing, and you have 2 aces. Like it's really bringing you towards something new. It's like if something ends, it's not going to stay, like that thing might stay ended, but you are not going to stay trapped with it. It's like you are going to expand, you're going to go further and do more things. Same with this Memories of Love. It's really making me think, it's like, you know, when you put those candles on a river and they float away, it's like, again, it's making me think of you like expanding, going further, doing more, again, doing what you want to do. But again, like being afraid and seeing things from a fear perspective is going to kind of limit you and limit how far and how much you can actually achieve and, you know, what you can do during this time period. But again, with the Memories of Love, it's like, it feels very much like you have like a guardian angel or someone watching over you. If someone like passed away, that could be, like this person could be present here and like they're really watching out for you and they want you to know, like, listen, I have your back, I'm watching out for you. Do you think I would like let you go through this difficult time period? Like, do you think I would let you lose your job and not have something new coming in? It's like, you know, like, you're going to be okay. That's really the message that's coming through. Like, you don't have to fight so hard all the time. Everything is going to be fine. You're going to be okay. Let's pull some Romance Angels Oracle cards for you and see what's going to come through. But again, I feel like there's like a very protective spirit over you. Like, there's a very protective energy here. You guys have, you can love without fear. Again, there's a lot about releasing fear. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy between all. We have finances and career. Financial problems are involving your love life right now. So it feels like you guys are really worried about finance. You're really worried about career. But again, it's like with this, you can love without fear. It's like you don't have to be afraid. And you also have to express your love. Throw yourself forward and make the first step. So this feels more, again, like you have this very protective energy over you that's expressing like, listen, everything is going to be okay. Like, what's coming through even in the love portion is finance. And again, there's nothing here that would suggest that you're not going to have enough money. You have the King of Pentacles. With the Four of Pentacles, like the only issue coming through is that you're holding on too tightly to something. So it's like you kind of try and release that fear because it's kind of holding you back a little bit. And just trust that the universe is watching out for you. Someone is definitely watching out for you with this like very protective energy, and they are telling you that everything is going to be okay. So I do feel like there's not going to be a lot of love present here, or it's not going to be like a main focus of this time. I really think for you it's going to be career, but it does feel like there is going to be some career changes, but again, it's going to bring you to a more positive place overall. And lastly, I'm going to pull you some cards from this deck. This is the Flowers of the Night Oracle. Some final insight and guidance for you guys. We have the Depth card, Woodland Tobacco. Let's see if one more comes out. And we have Sensuality, Damask Violet. I'm going to read you the messages from the book because I really like this book. The Depth card says, pay closer attention to what is going on around you. Living in the here and now is vital. Negative energies may cause you to stay away from what is truly important and needs your attention. It is time to make peace and to seek calm, particularly with yourself, but do you need to reach out to another? What is in the past has gone, and you are needed right here and right now. Perceptions are heightened, and everyone, including you, will benefit from the space to explore a little deeper and take actions based on a greater understanding of situations. Woodland tobacco indicates coming together in groups, especially ones a little smaller and more private. That sounds like right now. Making plans, discussions, creating things together while learning are all enhanced by this flower. Be wary of over-analyzing or falling too deep into a potentially negative situation. Affirmation, with closer attention, I discovered new depths. So again, with that trapped in fear in this depth card, I feel like you just need to kind of get a broader perspective of what's going on. And that will kind of help you see some moves that you can make that again will kind of help you grow and develop and expand. And Sensuality says, closer relationships and a step towards greater intimacy are indicated. Relationships may progress and move to another level, and you may find you are yearning for more physical fulfillment in other areas of your life as well. Communication is key to receiving what it is you really want. Those working with spirit and spirituality will find greater clarity. This can be both positive and challenging, so be very sure to stay grounded. If you are seeking a resolution or answer, perhaps you may find you need to be more empathetic. Do you understand the deeper emotional layers which may not be at first apparent? One can get carried away under the energy of this flower, so be very sure you are happy to be as free as your emotions allow. Promiscuity, infidelity, and becoming ungrounded too easily are challenges to be wary of. Affirmation, I am centrally alive and free. So I do feel like what's coming, like the strongest message is that everything is going to be okay. You're going to be fine. You're going to make it through this. You're strong enough to make it through this. You've made it through difficult situations before, and you can do it again. Again, there's not a lot of like love coming through. There is like this thing about closer relationships. So I think you're going to be fine love-wise. I don't see like necessarily new love coming in, but it might just be that you're more focused on like the career aspect, which again makes sense. But again, it's like be open to changes, and again, try to see things from a slightly different perspective, because I feel like this fear and anxiety is kind of boxing you in a little bit. And I know that it can be hard to do during this time, but trying to release some of that and see things from a different perspective could help you see that there is actually a lot of opportunity during this time period for expansion and growth that will bring you closer to the place that you want to be. So that's what I'm seeing for those of you that chose pile 2. I hope that was interesting or provided clarity or insight. Once again, thank you for watching and have a great day. Hi guys, if you chose pile 3 with the citrine or the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, then welcome. This reading is for you. Let's take a look at what might be coming for you post-isolation and quarantine. So we invite any ancestors, any spirit guides, any positive energies that want to communicate with us about everyone that chose pile 3, about what their life is going to look like after this isolation and quarantine period, to please communicate in the most effective and concise way possible so that we can get the most accurate and helpful reading for everyone that chose pile 3 that we can. And again, we're asking for pile 3, what will their life look like post-isolation and quarantine period? Okay. We have the 5 of Cups in reverse. We have the 9 of Pentacles. We have the 7 of Swords. And we also have the Sun in reverse. And the bottom of the deck is the 8 of Cups. Okay, so with the 8 of Cups, I do see you leaving something behind. With the 5 of Cups in reverse and the 7 of Swords. With the 5 of Cups in reverse, there is the sense that something has ended, but it's actually a blessing in disguise. with the Seven of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles, this does kind of feel like a relationship ending. The Nine of Pentacles is usually like the single card. So with the Seven of Swords and the single card, it may be that it might not be that like this was a romantic relationship, but it could be just like, a platonic relationship or a friendship of some kind. It does feel like someone was maybe, being a little bit tricky, being a little bit deceptive. And so something may have ended, you may have chosen to walk away from some kind of situation, but I feel like that situation wasn't serving you, and now it's like you can kind of blossom and grow and develop into the person that you were meant to be. I'm going to go ahead and clarify these cards. Why is the Five of Cups in reverse? I'm going to try to remember to tell you the cards I'm using today also. I'm using the Autonomic Tarot to clarify. So why is the Five of Cups in reverse in this reading? How does that help us understand? We have the Hermit. Why is the Nine of Pentacles in this reading? How does that help us understand? We have the Devil card. Why is the Seven of Swords in this reading? How does that help us understand what is coming for pile 3 after isolation and quarantine? We have the Universe, which is the World card. And why is the Sun in reverse in this reading? I'm curious about this one, about why this is in reverse. We have the Death card. And the bottom of this deck is the Chariot. Okay. So with the Devil and the Seven of Swords and the Eight of Cups, Nine of Pentacles, I do feel like there is like a relationship here. It might not be with a person, it might be with a thing, like just some kind of unhealthy or toxic relationship you're ending during this quarantine period. And so I think like immediately after the quarantine isolation period, with the Sun in reverse, the Death, it's like it's going to be a big change to like leave this person or leave this thing, this situation behind. But again, I think that it's not serving you, and some time alone, some time by yourself is going to really help you. Again, it might initially feel like you've suffered this huge loss. It might initially be kind of difficult to go through this transition, but I think it's helping you move into this Nine of Pentacles place. Like it's helping you move into this like secure, confident, and successful person. Again, whatever it was like before, I think was kind of draining you in a way, and it's like you have so much potential, there's so much that you have to give, and I think that this, like whatever you're leaving behind, is again going to kind of help you move towards this place that you need to be. I'm going to pull some cards from the Vessel Oracle. So even when the Sun is reversed, the Sun to me is like the most positive card in the deck. Sorry, whenever that door opens, it always terrifies me. So I hope that you couldn't hear it, and if you could hear it, then it wasn't scary. But to me, the Sun is the most positive card in the deck, and even when it's reversed, it's not like the opposite of positivity, it's just a little bit diluted. So here I'm feeling, again, with the Five of Cups reversed and the Sun reversed, it's like you might be feeling like this is kind of a difficult time, and like it's not, I'm not saying that it's not a difficult time, but I'm thinking that it's not going to be as bad as it feels. And again, it's moving you towards a positive place. Like this change is for the better, even though it might be painful and difficult to go through whatever like you're leaving behind. It's going to bring you to this really positive place with a lot of potential. So for the Vessel Oracle, we have the Structure card, we have the Truth card. Let's pull some more cards from this deck. We have the grieve card. And we also have the move on card, and then this card came out as well, so I'm going to pull 4, but this card came out too. We have the healing card. So again, there is this sense of like something difficult happening, and I do feel like it's kind of you moving away from something. Again, it feels kind of like this toxic situation, whether it be, for a lot of people it feels like a relationship, or again kind of like a habit or something like that, something that's draining you. And I do think that that's going to be ending during this period. But again, it's like this might be a difficult time period, but again, it's happening for a positive reason. It's happening to bring you healing, to bring you structure, and to bring you closer to your truth. I feel like whatever the situation of this person was, it was like, again, draining you in a lot of ways, and you have a lot of potential. And so this person or this thing, this situation was stopping you from fulfilling that potential. And so I think, again, it's like, this is coming up in a lot of the readings, where it's like this is one cycle is ending and a new cycle is beginning. And this cycle that's ending, for you guys, I really feel like was not, again, it was like holding you back from your full potential. And so this, sorry, that door opened again. That terrifies me every time. Also, I apologize if you can hear people in the background. It's my family. We're all quarantined together. I don't know how you guys are doing. If you're quarantined with your family, I'm losing my mind. But hopefully, you know, fingers crossed that it ends soon. Anyway, this is why I need like complete silence to do readings, because I get so easily distracted, and I don't think my family understands that, which, you know, I get it because we all live together. But now I've lost my train of thought. Okay, what was I saying? Again, I feel like this change is it's going to feel difficult. And again, I'm not saying that it's not difficult, but I think it's going to feel a lot worse than it actually is. Like, it's going to feel like it's a much bigger deal. Again, not saying it's not a big deal, but it's just going to feel like it is a lot worse than it actually is. And I think hopefully quite soon you'll realize, okay, actually, like, without this thing or without this person, like, my life is actually a lot better. When I'm not in this toxic situation, my life is like going a lot better. So there will be this period of grieving, but I think eventually with this move on and the healing, because it went grieve, move on, healing, it's like there is just going to be this grieving period, but I think you're going to move on from it quite quickly. And again, it's coming for healing, and I think that you are going to heal quite quickly. So I'm going to pull some Romance Angel Oracle cards for you now. Pile 3, After Isolation and Quarantine. We have the Forgive and Learn card. And liberating the past, you live, or you have more love in the present moment. There is kind of a sense here with this Nine of Pentacles, the Hermit, but this is kind of a time, like, this is kind of meant for you. This is a period where you're kind of meant to be alone for a while, to focus on yourself over the interests of people that maybe don't put you first. This is a time for you to focus on yourself first and foremost. If you, with the learn to get to know each other card, I don't see like relationships being super strong during this time period. It's not really a time to elevate anything. It would be just kind of like a casual get to know each other. Like, you're really meant to focus on yourself first and foremost. And with this live and or Forgive and Learn card, again, there's really this sense of like healing from something from the past, healing from a situation, healing from a person, and then walking away and leaving that in the past and moving on towards bigger and better things. Because you do have like this really great love coming in with this you can love without fear card, and this time I feel like it's kind of meant to prepare you, or like you're kind of meant to kind of work and heal through some things so that you can be open and accept that love when it does come in. I'm going to use the Psychic Tarot now and just pull a few cards. What is coming for pile 3 after the isolation and quarantine period? What will their life look like? We have partnerships and alliances. That's the 3 of Pentacles in the traditional tarot. We have passion ignited. Wow, okay. That's the Ace of Pentacles, I think. Pile 3, after isolation and quarantine. And we have wisdom. So there's a lot here with the hermit, the learn card, this wisdom card. There's a lot here about learning. You might be focusing during quarantine on learning something. Like you might be in school, or you might be, trying to learn a language, focusing on a hobby. But there is this element of like learning in some way. And I do think as part of that, it could be literal learning, but I also think it's kind of meant to be metaphoric. Like, learning from the past, because with this partnerships and alliances and the passion ignited card, I do think that after isolation you could be having someone come in quite soon, like a romantic partner coming in during quarantine. Again, I feel like this is really a time for you to focus on yourself, like focus on that self-love, putting yourself first, being your own best partner, because I think that after quarantine you're going to have someone coming in quite soon. And so I think these cards are kind of asking you to kind of look at the past, look at these situations that you've walked away from, look at what hasn't worked, and think about what you want in a partner. Think about what is going to be best for you. Because I feel like this person is going to come in quite soon, and then you can use these things that you've learned to kind of deepen this relationship with this new person. If you're already with someone, I feel like, again, this quarantine period, like during isolation, I don't see like a lot happening with that person, like good or bad. Again, it's kind of maybe kind of like get to know each other, get to know, like, again, I feel like it's really meant to be a time to focus on you, but there wouldn't be too much happening good or bad. But after the isolation period is over, I see things kind of elevating with that person. But again, there is a sense of like, I think learning a lot about yourself during this period, learning about what you want out of a job, out of a relationship, and being able to kind of put that into practice and then attract what you want. I'm going to pull a final card for you from the Flowers of the Night Oracle and just get some final advice or insights. Again, there is this sense of like leaving something behind, like learning from the past, like not necessarily forgetting it, but leaving it in the past so that brighter and better things can come. And with the Chariot, things could come quite soon after isolation is over. Like this person, these partnerships, alliances could happen quite soon. And those could be work as well, but for some of you, I do feel like for some of you, this is like a work energy where it's like you realize what you want to do in work. Again, if it's like whatever situation is that you're leaving behind, if it's a person, it's like a new love coming in. If it's a job situation, there's a new job coming in that's, again, going to be more in line with what you actually want to do. And again, with the Chariot, like whatever it is coming in quite soon once isolation is over. So from the Flowers of the Night Oracle, we have Sensitivity or Night Gladiolus. I can't pronounce anything. And we have the Death card, the Devil's Trumpet. So I'm going to read you what these cards say from the book because I like how this book describes things. The Sensitivity card says, emotions, feelings, and sensitivities are all very strong at present and may cause decisions to be more difficult. You might even find that a clear answer is not possible at all. Be extra considerate and kind to others because someone really needs you and your compassion. The core of an issue will be difficult to see right now, but patience and a gentle approach will assist in understanding. A romantic encounter, an increase in feelings of love for someone, and the deepening of commitments are all possible. This is due to a change in the energies associated with true feelings for the better. This is a good time to express how you feel about someone or something. Be aware that under the energy of Night Gladiolus, a person can easily fall into the role of victim due to the rise in everyone's emotions and sensitivities. Affirmation, I make space and boundaries for feelings. Again, I really feel like this isolation period is a time for you to, again, like deal with the feelings that arose from the situation that you're leaving behind, this toxic situation, to make room for better things in the future. Because I do feel like there are new people coming in, if it is a relationship or there's a new job coming in really soon after. So use this time to kind of put yourself in the right headspace for that situation. And the Death card says an ending is indicated. You may be about to experience it, or you may need to invoke it yourself. Devil's trumpet can also be reminding you of something that has passed. Often it is impossible for the new to grow and take hold until the old has actually died in some way and ceased to be. A time of sleep, long-earned rest, and withdrawal may be forthcoming and attained. Loss is a strong force associated with the devil's trumpet, so extra care should be taken at the moment, as well as consideration for things you may actually wish to let go of. Now would be a very good time to take action to release what you no longer require. A very positive aspect of Devil's Trumpet is that it can also signify the end of difficulties and challenges, which you may have had to face, as well as the completion of arduous tasks undertaken to attain goals. Challenges include feeling unable to walk away from a situation or to admit defeat. Affirmation: I accept that this is an ending. So again, I'm really drawn to here where it says you may need to invoke it yourself. Again, I really feel like there is something here that you need to walk away from, or someone that you need to walk away from. And again, as with any ending, there may be a grieving period, but using that time that follows that to kind of heal in whatever way feels best for you is going to pave the way for something better to come in. Again, whether it be a person or a job, you have something new coming. And I think what's kind of exciting about this pile also is that it's you that's invoking this ending, and the other two piles, there were elements of change as well, which makes sense because this is a time of a lot of change and a lot of uncertainty. But what I think is cool here is that you really have this autonomy over your decision here, whereas with the other two piles so far, it's been like, you know, they've had to deal with a lot of change. And I feel like this is really coming from you, where you're like, you know what, I want this change. I need to walk away from this. This isn't working for me. And again, it's like taking control in that way. So this really feels like you, in a lot of ways, taking control, learning more about yourself and what you actually want, and then using that knowledge to bring that towards you. And again, I think that what you want is going to come to you quite soon after isolation is over. So that's what I'm seeing for those of you that chose pile 3. I hope that was interesting or provided clarity or insight in some way. I'm sending lots of love and light to you, and have a great day. Hi guys, if you chose pile 4, the Apparition Tarot with the black tourmaline stone, then welcome. This reading is for you. Let's take a look at what is coming for you post-isolation and quarantine. If I can get these cards off the table. Okay. We invite any ancestors, any spirit guides, any positive energies that want to communicate with us about everyone that chose pile 4 to please do so in the most effective and concise way possible, so that we can get the most accurate and helpful reading for everyone that chose pile 4 that we can. Again, asking, what is life going to look like for everyone that chose pile 4 after the isolation and quarantine period is over? Okay, so we have the 8 of Swords, we have the Temperance card, we have the 4 of Wands, and we also have the 10 of Swords. And the bottom of this deck is the King of Swords. Okay. Let me move these. I'll put this over here. Okay. So, I can tell you guys are quite anxious with the 8 of Swords and the 10 of Swords. The black tourmaline stone as well is meant for protection and healing. So again, I feel like you guys could be in need of a little bit of that. There just feels like a lot of anxiety here, a lot of worry. It's funny because on the outside we have anxiety and worry, and then on the inside we have peace, blessing, serenity. So I do think that one message here is that things are not as bad as they seem. What you're fearing right now, like the worst thing that you're afraid of happening, is not going to happen. I love the 10 of Swords card in this deck because of a few different reasons. The first, you can see the 10 swords in the arm. and then there's like the blood, but there's also shells in the blood. So to me that symbolizes like beautiful things coming out of pain. And also there's the sun rising in the background. So to me it's like the worst has passed, you know, like the dark night of the soul, you've gone through that, and like the sun is coming up. To me also the Ten of Swords is often kind of a dramatic card. It's like, you know, you only really need one sword in the arm to die or to be hurt. And when you have 10, it's like, okay, that is a little bit overboard. You know what I mean? So I think with the 8 of Swords and the 10 of Swords, again with the black tourmaline stone, I feel like you guys might be in need of a little bit of grounding, or just a little bit of like looking at your situation. I get this way too. I have pretty bad anxiety. And when I get anxious, I'm like, okay, like this is going to happen and that's going to make this happen, and then blah, 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 blah. And then you end up like, you know, you're like, okay, I'm gonna have to move to Guatemala, and like, you know, it's just like, it's like you need to kind of come back to earth a little bit and be like, okay, what is genuinely the worst that can happen, and how likely is that that's gonna happen? You know what I mean? It's like what you are envisioning, like these things that are like going around in your head, they are like, I'm not saying they're not valid concerns, but I don't think that the worst thing that you're envisioning is going to happen. And also just be wary of being a little bit dramatic, you know. Again, try to make sure that your fears are kind of grounded in reality. With the Temperance and the Four of Wands card, again, the Temperance card is a card of balance. So again, I'm really seeing a need here for balance, to kind of come back down to earth a little bit, to ground a little bit. The Four of Wands is a card of stability. So there is a message here that, you know, everything, like things are going to be relatively stable. There is a butterfly here, which could symbolize change that's come through in all of the piles, which is no surprise because of the nature of the situation that we're in. But with the Four of Wands, I do think that there is this element of like stability or of security. So it's like, even if these changes happen, again, I feel like you're afraid that there's going to be this huge massive change, this huge massive disruption. And this Four of Wands is saying, you know, like, yes, there may be some minor changes, but on the whole, like, things are going to look pretty much the same as they did like before this happened. With the Temperance card as well, you might be getting some messages in your dreams, so pay attention to that. You know, try to like pay attention to what you've been dreaming about. You could be getting some important messages through there. The Four of Wands is also a card of celebration. So again, I do feel like once you're out of this, you're going to be like, take a deep breath and be like, wow, you know, I made it through. The worst that happened is not going to happen. So again, it feels very celebratory, like, okay, you know, it didn't happen. Like, you know, it just feels like there's like this fear of like something happening, or like, you know, like the world is going to end, or like your life is going to fall apart. And again, it's like there could be some changes with the Temperance card, but it's not going to be on the scale that you think. Like, again, there's going to be an element of stability, of security with the Four of Wands, and an element of celebration once this is all over. I'm going to clarify these cards now. I'm going to try to remember to tell you the cards that I'm using, because I always get questions. So I'm going to use the Autonomic Tarot to clarify. So why is the Eight of Swords in this reading? What does that tell us about what pile 4's life will look like? We have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, clarifying the Eight of Swords, and clarifying the Temperance card, we have the Hermit. I'm going to move this down a tiny bit. Why is the Four of Wands in this reading? We have the Ten of Wands. And why is the Ten of Swords in this reading? We have the Ace of Swords. And the bottom of the deck is the Emperor. Okay. So with the Ace of Swords, Ten of Swords, especially with the Ace of Swords saying ending, I think this is an important reminder. This has been coming through for a lot of the other piles as well. Is that an ending isn't just an ending. An ending is also a beginning. You know, even if it's just a cycle, it's like when you like graduate college, it's like that's the end of an era, but it's also the beginning of a new era. So I think these cards are kind of asking you to have a little bit of a different perspective on the situation. It's like, you know, again, beautiful things can come out of difficulty. New opportunities can come out of endings. With the Ace of Pentacles in reverse saying bravery, I feel like, again, you are just kind of like really bracing for the worst, and the worst is not going to happen. And even if something does end, something does change, it's bringing you into something new. With the Emperor here, I do feel like you're kind of having a little bit of perhaps like some control issues. And again, that's kind of causing this anxiety where it's like you really want to control every aspect. And with a situation like this is really challenging, but we just can't control it. Like, we can't control the government's response. We can't control, if we, like, the one time we go to the grocery store this week, like, someone has, you know what I mean? You just, like, you kind of have to give up that element of control here, and I think that's gonna maybe help you with, the anxiety that you're going through. I do also see with the Hermit that this could be, it makes sense that this is coming up because this is like a period of isolation, so a lot of us are kind of in hermit mode right now. But again, I feel like, I don't know, it feels like there's like this fear that like you're not going to find anyone after this, or like you're going to be alone after this. And again, it's like the people that loved you before are going to love you after this. The people that you were talking to before this, you're going to be talking to after this. You know, if you had any, like, I feel like for some of you might have like a casual relationship, and like that is going to continue. You know, it's like there may be some minor changes, especially initially, but I think for you guys, like, things are going to really kind of stay the same. Like, what you're afraid of happening is not going to happen. I do feel like, again, with this King of Swords and the Temperance card, some of you kind of have, like, a person that you've been talking to, and you're wondering, like, okay, are they going to keep talking to me during this? Are they going to still be interested after this? And it's like, yes, they will. This is a period of isolation, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to be around once this is over. Like, they're still going to be thinking about you. There is an obstacle right now, but I feel like that makes it kind of more exciting for some of them. They're like, okay, you know, now there's, like, a challenge, and I feel like this person kind of likes that. But again, I feel like the overall message for you guys is that your life is not going to be that different. The first few piles, their lives, like, there were elements of change. It was all, like, for the better. But for you guys, I really feel like there's not a ton of change. Like, I feel like you guys are really terrified of something happening, of something ending, and it's like, I don't see that thing happening, and even if it does, it's bringing you into a positive place. Really what's coming through is, like, there's going to be cause for celebration, and there's going to be, like, relative stability throughout this time for you. So I'm going to pull some cards from the Vessel Oracle. For pile 4, what will their life look like after isolation and quarantine? With the Temperance card, I do kind of feel like you guys have kind of like a guardian angel of sorts. I really see the Temperance card as kind of like divine intervention. So I think you have someone watching over you that's like, you know, everything's going to be okay. And again, that's kind of why I feel like pay attention to your dreams, because you could be kind of getting messages in your dreams. So we have the Childhood card. We have the Support card. We have the Rest card. And we have the Birth card. Okay, for some of you, this is like a very specific message. For some of you, I feel like you're like college students that have gone home to like your childhood home like during the quarantine, and I feel like you're kind of having a hard time dealing with that, with like going back to like the way things have been in childhood, and you're like, you know, like, am I going to be able to go, like, will my life go back to the way it was? Like, I'm going to be stuck like this forever? It's like, no, like, you're not going to be stuck like that forever. The way that you are right now during quarantine is temporary. For you, I do, again, feel like there's going to not be a ton of change in your day-to-day life post-quarantine. This is really a time for you to rest. With the Hermit and the Rest card, it's like, with the Ten of Wands, you may have been working really hard recently. So this is a time for you to kind of sit back, look at the things you've already achieved, be proud of what you've already achieved, and, you know, look forward to more, because again, I do feel like there's going to be cause for celebration after the quarantine for you guys as well. And with the birth, again, with the 10 of Swords and the Ace of Swords saying ending, it's like, yes, some things are ending for you. Some things are ending for a lot of people, you know, like, there's change in a lot of ways. But again, like, there's going to be something really exciting coming out of this for you. Like, there's going to be this new, you know, there's something coming out of this for you, basically. Like, there is something exciting coming on the horizon with the 4 of Wands, the 10 of Wands having that sun on it, and the Ace saying ending. So it's like this new beginning that's coming for you is coming with an ending as well. But again, for you guys, I don't feel like this is really a major change. For the other piles, I really felt like there were some major changes coming. For you guys, it doesn't feel like it's that major. But again, there is like something ending and something new coming, which I feel like is just kind of indicative of this time period. But yeah, you guys have a lot of support too from the universe. Again, I really feel like you kind of have this guardian spirit looking out over you and like making sure everything's going to be okay. And again, like, the main message here is that things are going to be okay. The worst that you're fearing is not going to happen. I'm going to pull some cards for you guys from the Romance Angel Oracle deck. Pile 4's life after quarantine. You can love without fear. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy. Again, if you're afraid of like someone losing interest in you after quarantine, like, don't be afraid. There's no need to worry about that. We have forgive and learn. In liberating the past, you will find more love in the present moment. So again, for some of you, this is a chance to like reconnect with family with this childhood card. And to kind of let go of some things that may have been bothering you or that may have been kind of lingering from childhood. And we also have the engagement card. Your love life is being raised to a higher level of engagement. So again, I do feel like if you were worried about, I feel like for a lot of you, you kind of had perhaps like a more casual relationship before the quarantine, and you're like, are they going to still be interested in me after? And after the quarantine, I do see like a higher level of commitment coming with this engagement card. So if you are worried about someone like still being interested in you, it's like they will still be interested, and things will kind of elevate, or things will be taken to another level. But again, like with the no fear card, it's like this is really a time for you to like just release any fear. And with the rest card and the forgive card, again, I really feel like this is a time for you to kind of just take a break and, you know, reconnect with your roots if you are at home, or even if you're not, just like reconnect with some things of yourself that you may have been too busy to pay attention to recently. I'm going to pull some cards from the Psychic Tarot. We have Memories of Love. Again, I really feel like this is a time for you guys to really connect to like childhood memories. There could be perhaps like someone coming in from the past for some of you guys. With the 6 of Cups, this childhood, the forgive and learn, like there is this element of like reconnecting with the past. And for some of you, there could be someone coming back from the past. What is coming for pile 4 after quarantine, after isolation? We have awareness. This card's been coming out a lot, like the awareness and the wisdom card. And we have the intuition card. Again, I really feel like you guys have like a guardian angel watching over you, and I feel like this time period, like if you try to connect with them, that's going to help relieve you of some of this anxiety and worry. That could be with the Temperance card, the awareness and the intuition. This could be a great time for you if you're not very spiritual, or if you've been wanting to deepen your spiritual practice, to kind of tap more into your spiritual gifts, into, you know, whatever spirituality form resonates with you. Again, I really feel like you have like people that are watching over you. With the memories of love card too, I really feel like you have like ancestors or just like loved ones that are watching over you, that want you to know that, you know, they're with you, that everything's going to be okay, that they're here for you. And with this awareness and intuition card, this is a great time for you if you have been kind of wanting to get more into spirituality, or again just deepen your practice. Is a great time to do that, because there's just like, again, with the childhood memories of love, it's like you're very connected to them right now. So if this is a great time to kind of try and contact them if you are interested in that. So let's pull you one final card from the Flowers of the Night Oracle. Final insight and guidance for pile 4. We have the communication card, Fishbone Cactus, and let's get one more. And we have Purpose, Desert Wishbone. So the communication card says, time for discussions, speaking up, and ensuring that you are really heard. I'm reading from the book because I really like the way that this book talks about things. It's very eloquent, and I'm not, so that's why I'm reading from it. It says, what needs to be said or communicated more clearly? Is your truth, your message, your meaning being fully understood? Take extra notice of what is being shown and shared with you, as you could easily miss some very important points. This is a chance to share your passion through creative expression and to gain more interest in what it is you do. This energy extends to opportunities to change jobs, gain promotions, sell creative works, and obtain positions to share your work more widely. Truth is being heard at the moment, and you may need to forget the past and trust in the future so you can enjoy today more fully. Be very careful of gossip, being misrepresented, or doing things which may not align with your truth. Affirmation, I speak with truth and clarity. Again, with the communication and all of this, like memories of love, I do feel like this is a great time to, again, communicate with ancestors, or to communicate more with like the divine, if that's something that you're interested in. And also like forgetting the past, trusting in the future. It's like this is a time to kind of connect with the past, see if there's anything like any hurt that's kind of lingering, and then kind of send it on so you can move forward more fully into the future. That could be kind of this Ten of Swords energy, this pain, you know, touching into that, or tapping into that, acknowledging it, honoring it, and then letting it go so you can move forward would be really helpful during this time. And Purpose says, your purpose is being highlighted and should be given additional attention. When looking for answers or direction, don't lose sight of your overall life purpose or any goals you originally set for yourself. What is it that you really want to do? Find ways to boost your confidence and surround yourself with elements and people who will keep you strong, because you may find doubts both within and without creeping into your sphere. Negotiations are indicated and a need to stand your ground a little firmer. Do not avoid confrontation at the moment, as avoidance will be extremely counterproductive. Trust, sharing, and communication are paramount in intimate relationships at present. Someone may need additional reassurance from you and closer one-on-one time. The challenges you may face are reluctance, fear of speaking up, and withholding information. Affirmation, I have full confidence in my purpose. Again, I feel like what this card is really kind of speaking to me about personally is just like this need to have confidence in yourself, with like these doubts. It's like I feel there's just like this fear coming in, and again, like the strongest message coming through is that the thing that you're afraid of happening is not going to happen. Like your life is not going to look that different. There might be some change, and kind of going along with that flow is going to make dealing with that change easier. But overall, like, you know your purpose, you know what you want, you know your goals, and like you are going to achieve them regardless of the coronavirus or not. Like, you are going to make your dreams happen. And again, beautiful things are going to come out of this time period for you. So that's what I'm seeing for everyone that chose pile 4. I hope that was interesting or provided clarity or insights. I'm sending lots of love and light your way, and have a great day.